Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be more of a mainstream one. We're just going to be talking about the team lists. I do have more of a niche video out sometime this afternoon, probably tonight. I have just started planning. I've got a few notes ready for it. It's going to be about mid-ranges, when to get off them, how you should be looking to get off them, and yeah, just a few more trade fundamentals that I'm going to go through. So yeah, you guys like the niche content, I will get one out, but yeah, it's always important to talk about the team list as well. I've done it in this format this time, so I've got a few notes just for ease of access. If you don't want to watch the whole video, you can just go through the notes, which should be a little bit easier for you. But yeah, we'll jump into it. There's a little bit of fantasy interest this week, not a ton of opportunity at the moment. We'll find out more with Origin on Wednesday. If there's a few injuries or something, these team lists will change. But yeah, for now, we'll work with what we've got and we'll get into it. So Dragons vs Knights, Toby Couchman's back a week early. So he was due back in round 14. And yeah, he's back in round 13, which is good. He's named on the bench, so not great for owners, but yeah, I'll get into all the relevant guys after I go through this list first. Yeah, it shouldn't be the worst thing. He's going to lose a bit of money, but yeah, he'll be okay. It's good to see him back early. It means his shoulder should be all good for now. Luciano Leilua starts. There is some appeal if you do have excess trades. Yeah, I wouldn't be targeting him if you have less than 15 trades or whatever. But yeah, like we talked about yesterday, if you do want to take a flyer on a high upside guy, he is probably one of them. He has good buys as well. So, yeah, he could be interesting. Obviously, Gula's out for the season. Not Gula. Dylan Egan's out for the season. So, yeah, he's got that starting spot on lock. We'll see how many minutes he gets. He's probably a wait and see, but we'll get into him soon. And Gula, 18th man. So, he's not fantasy relevant, but Stewart and Loco Tonga owners, their minutes probably do slip a little bit when he is back. I don't know if he will be back this week, but it's something to monitor moving forward. I did like Hamish Stewart, and I still do starting lock. I don't love Tonga as much, but yeah, there are a few guys with either one of those, so I just thought I'd mention that as well. Nothing to worry about this week, but unless Gula is in the team. But yeah, we'll see how his injury looks. Sharp on the night side, Sharp back to 5'8" with Ponga back. Yeah, we obviously thought that was coming and probably better for fantasy, even though Sharp did pull out a 98. His data is better at 5'8", so yeah, not a concern there. Leo Thompson returns, which is good. Obviously, he just had gastro last week and concussion the week before. So yeah, it was expected he'd be back, but he is. And Croker is lock, which is interesting, but he's just far too expensive. He's made like 160K already this year, which is crazy, but yeah, no interest there. Onto the Titans versus Storm. Foran's back on the bench. It's good for Jaden Campbell, slightly. Foran did take a little bit of kicking meters off him, but yeah, I would kind of expect that to change again. This is how they were named last week, and things got reshuffled again in the hour before kickoff. I don't know why you'd name this team again like this if you were going to reshuffle it, but I mean, we've seen coaches do it all the time, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that it does happen. I'm not too concerned. I'm still trying to get Jaden Campbell in this week if I can either way. I'm not too concerned by Foran's presence in the starting side, but I think Campbell's ceiling is a little bit higher, or his floor is a little bit higher with Foran not in the team. So we'll just have to monitor how that goes. And then all the Origin guys are named, which we'd expect, like Beau Fermor, which is good. On the Storm side, yeah, Origin guys named, nothing too interesting there. And Grant Price watch. So obviously he's had a bit of a down year. They do have bad buys, and he obviously plays Origin. So yeah, nothing to write home about yet. But if his price gets low soon, then he might have interest even before the end of the buy rounds, especially if you are low on trades and he's a guy you want in your end of season team. You might just have to bite the bullet at some stage. So yeah, just monitoring to see how he goes. I don't think he'll play 80, especially with Wishart on the bench and backing up from Origin when he's only just returned from injury. So I think he's got a lot of money to lose still, and yeah, he'll get to a really appealing price for us soon. Obviously, no one really owns him now, but yeah, just monitor his price moving forward. Cowboys versus Tigers. So Purdy stays in the halves like we thought. That was really the only thing to note. Obviously, the Origin guys are named. And yeah, they're playing on Saturday, so that should be no problem. Heath Mason starts. So there were a few people in my comments talking about Latu Fainu, sorry. Where is it? Oh, it's loaded again. Yeah, he's expected back round 11 to round 14. So there was a chance he was going to be named, but he's not. Heath Mason, I probably prefer Heath Mason as an option anyway. But yeah, I probably couldn't pull the trigger on him knowing Fainu is back at any stage. So, yeah, I'd be waiting on that one, but there is a bit of interest because they're both below 300k. So, yeah, they could do a job for you, but I'd wait and see for sure. But we'll get into that again. Seagulls versus Broncos. Yeah, bad news like an hour before team lists were announced. NRL physio said Tommy Turbo's injured again. Doesn't sound too severe. He just aggravated his cork again. So, yeah, obviously they're going to be precautionary with him. But, yeah, it's just sad to see. Like, you want him to be healthy. And he did look good last week. Obviously, he only got 40 fantasy points. Not many attacking stats, but he was just moving so freely. Even, like, in the first 5 minutes, he was taking multiple hit-ups in a set. And, yeah, it was good to see. But, yeah, obviously his body has given out on him again. So, hopefully he's back soon. Jakey Turbo's given a week off again, so he had a concussion. It was Cat 1, so he missed last week, mandatory stand down for 11 days, but he was due back this week. And yeah, obviously he's not in the team, not even on the extended squad, so a bit concerning there for his health. Hopefully he's all good. Obviously he's getting a bit older, so maybe they're just being a bit precautionary with him. And obviously Jazz did a good job last week, so maybe they're just rolling with that. Yeah, hopefully he's all good. The other Turbo brother is in, so he's back, Benny, which is good. They got 1 out of 3. And yeah, Jazz starts lock again. So I don't think he plays 80. He only played it, in my eyes, because there were a few injuries, like Jakey Simpkin. Did Jake Simpkin get injured? I think so. One of the halves got injured as well. So Lockie Croker moved into the halves and then had a backline injury as well. So there are extenuating circumstances. I don't think he plays 80, but his projection is better when he is playing in the lock as opposed to hooker. And the fact Lockie Croker's on the bench means he should be good. I'm not really considering a pickup. I think he's a bit too expensive, but we'll get into that as well. But yeah, if you already own him, like most of you do, I think it's awesome news with these team lists. On the Broncos side, Payne Haas is named. Not sure he plays. That's just my opinion. Nothing's come out, obviously. He was touch and go for Origin, and now he's playing Origin and then has a game 4 days later. I don't know if the Broncos do that. Obviously, their form isn't great, so they probably want their guys back, and they probably wouldn't have given him permission to play Origin if he wasn't like 90% healthy. So there's a chance he does play. I'm keeping him anyway. I don't really care if he plays because I've got 3 other mids that are decent, like 50 plus anyway. So yeah, not concerned, but it's probably one to monitor. See how he goes in Origin. He does have a tendency to pick up a few niggles. So, yeah, just see how he goes there. But he's named at this stage. Not fantasy relevant, but Jesse Arthur's his fullback, Cobbo on the wing. So they've changed things up there, just probably trying to get a win on the board. But yeah, Cobbo is coming back from injury as well. Not a long-term one, but maybe they're just changing some there. And Ezra Mam, I'll talk about him to see whether he's worth a pickup later on in the video. But, yeah, chances are he's not. Rabbitohs versus the Waz. The Bunnies pack remains the same for all our fantasy relevant guys, which is good. So Koloamatangi at prop, Aiken on the edge, which is really good. Didn't think that was going to change. Campbell Graham has a chance to play Origin because he was like 18th, 19th man, I think, and Critter has a potential injury. He's playing at this stage, but I also heard a rumour, I think it was Gus Gould posted on his Twitter that Matt Burton's on standby. So I don't know what that means. Like, is Burton coming in to centre if Critter misses out? Yeah, don't know what goes on there. I don't know if he was referring to the Bulldogs or if he was talking about Origin. So he said news out of New South Wales camp, so I assume that means Burton would play anyway. But if Graham were to play and not back up, it would probably mean Aiken moves to centre, Koloamatangi moves to edge. Not concerned that happens at all, but it's just probably something to note, I guess. But yeah, like Aiken is always a chance of moving to centre mid-game and stuff like that. But in this team list, they're named where we want them to be, which is awesome. Tallis Duncan gets the start in edge still, which is good, like I thought. I'm probably the only one on earth with him, but it's good for me, even though I'm not playing him this week. And then on the Warriors side, James Fisher-Harris is back, obviously after that suspension. But Halassim is on the bench. So, yeah, Capewell was back to the edge last week after a late reshuffle, which makes more sense. He's way more of an edge than he is a centre, obviously. I do kind of expect Niokore to start on the bench with Halasima on the edge position. But yeah, like it's one to monitor. I think Halasine is probably a sell anyway at this stage. He's probably not going to play 80 or close to. So yeah, not too many people have him, but he is somewhat fantasy relevant. For the Panthers versus Eels, the Panthers, both their origin guys in Cleary and Yo are named. I would expect them to play. They have a Sunday game, so 5-day backup. Obviously, Cleary is probably backing up no matter what as a half, but Yo, yeah, I'd say he also backs up. He probably doesn't play too many minutes in origin, maybe 50, 60, which is low for him. And then, yeah, maybe he plays 70 minutes for this game. So, yeah, not concerned about them. I've obviously sold them both, so I'm not... wouldn't be phased if they missed the game, obviously, but yeah, I'd fully expect them to back up for those that kept them, especially with them being last on the ladder. Like if they are trying to push for this year, they're going to need to rack up wins. Maybe if they are still like last coming into round 19, they don't back up, but I can't see that happening. And then Jenkins still on the wing, still probably think is a sell, but yeah, his name to start, which is good, even though he is outside Casey McLean, unfortunately for you guys. And then nothing notable on the Eels side. They had their bye in round 12. They have a lot of fantasy interest still, like in Riley Smith, Kartonga, but yeah, their positions haven't changed or anything like that, so nothing to note. For Roosters versus Raiders, yeah, nothing crazy exciting here either. The origin guys are named, like Robert Toya, Collins, Watson, Crichton. So yeah, they're all named. They have a Sunday game, so yeah, fully expect them to play. Watson probably doesn't play his full 80 minutes again. Like Dr. Clay probably comes on, steals 30, 40 minutes. And yeah, we'll see if Watson plays in the middle. Can't imagine he will. Interestingly, Nat Butcher's not named, so I don't know if he had a setback or anything because he was named on the bench last week and then didn't play and now is not even on the extended squad. So that's kind of interesting. Hopefully he's all good. And then Egan Butcher's back on the bench. Not a ton of fantasy interest. If you were going to do it, you would have done it last week. But yeah, I was potentially bringing him in and I knew he'd probably be on the bench this week, but yeah, that has eventuated. On the Raiders side, Sasungi's back on the bench, so Hosking probably goes back to 65 minutes. I still think he's an option. I wouldn't be buying him now for sure, but if you have him, like not concerned, 65 minutes is probably all we need. Smithy's still a lock, which is good. Horsburgh and Tarpany obviously both named. They're going to take the fines, I imagine, not risk suspension. And Owen Paddy starts, so that's interesting. Obviously, Starling's out. They do have Danny Levi on the bench. Paddy's not an option anyway. I think Starling's out like 1 to 2 weeks. So, yeah, not an option either way, but the fact they have Levi on the bench means he doesn't play 80 anyway, most likely. So, yeah, that's all from that one. I have to move this so I can get rid of this. Don't save, I don't need that. So yeah, we'll get into like some interesting guys that I wanted to talk about. Oh no, they've all refreshed. Let me just quickly bounce off this. Sorry, please pause. I could edit this, but it's like 5 seconds. So hopefully you're all good waiting, unless this takes ages. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, Toby Couchman, obviously on the bench. Not concerned. He probably still plays 50 or so minutes. He's obviously had 2 games off the bench for 62 and 44. So yeah, above 30 minutes. He averages 58 minutes. He probably plays about 50, I'd say. So he's going to score lower. He's obviously not a pickup if you don't have him now. You probably play him this week. Obviously, if you have May, Haas, Tarpany, stuff like that, you probably play them over him because he does have a lower floor out of those guys. But yeah, he's going to lose a bit of money, which is good for us non-owners. So yeah, he's just a wait and see. If you have him, awesome, that is back. If you don't have him, just wait for that price to get lower and probably pick him up in round 15, no matter what his price is. Like he's going to play round 15 and 18, probably one of the best mids that plays both, if not the best, certainly the best edge. So yeah, he's definitely a pick up in round 15, but just wait for that price to drop. I'm just going to refresh these because they're going to do the same thing, aren't they? Yep. So Luciano Leilua. I cannot speak today, sorry. So yeah, he's got a bit of interest for me. He's priced at 31. His historical data playing second row is really strong. Let me just change this to second row as well. Averages 40 and 74 minutes this year. Last year, 42 and 75 minutes, 46 and 76 minutes. So yeah, if he's back to playing 80 minutes or close to, I think he's certainly 10 points underpriced. Just look at your buy planner. If you need an edge in around 15 and 18, which you probably do with Dylan Egan out now, and also if you have enough trades to take a flyer on a high upside guy, he's the one I would be considering for sure. I'm not going to do it this week. I want to see how he goes, even with a low break even. Even if that's probably about a 25 break even. Let's have a look here. So even if he scores a 45, which is probably where we'd expect him to get, he's only got to make 20k or so. So it's probably worth waiting, see what his minutes are like, and then look to pick him up in round 14 potentially. Do they have the buy in round 14? Yeah, they do have the buy in round 14. So, just before round 15 is what I'd recommend for sure. You can take a swing this week if you'd like. Again, only if you have excess trades. If you have less than 15, don't even consider him at all. I think he's right. He is a decent pickup in the right circumstances. He'll be very pottish. There's going to be Koloamatangi, Aitken, Jaden Campbell as like your most popular pickups, but I think he's probably the best mid-ranger on the board at the moment. Matt Croker, talked about him. He's just too highly priced. He would have a little bit of interest if he was playing lock, and he was at his starting price this year. But at 538k, there's just no interest, unfortunately, even though he is solid. Jaden Campbell, just going to quickly talk about him. He obviously scored a 49 last week. His kick meters were down slightly with Foran back in the team. That's the only concern. Everything else is super strong. So, I don't care if Foran is in the starting side or not. I'm still going to pick him up, even if they make that late change. But, just note he might lose 1 to 3 points of kick meters, but everything else should stay the same. Harry Grant, so obviously with us on price watch for him. He doesn't have a massively high break even, but only played 55 in his return. Probably plays somewhere between 55 and 70 this week. And I think if he gets priced at like 42, 43, I think you just pull the trigger. Obviously, he's playing Origin and has to back up in round 19. But if he gets to a really low price and you are low on trades and you're set for round 18, I think you can just monitor his price and pick him up when he gets really low. Heath Mason, he doesn't have any data at halfback. He's played 4 games at fullback and had really good scores. He won't kick because they've got Adam Dewey and then probably Coruscant as well as the top two. But there's a chance. I don't know what their rotation looks like. Neither of those two options are great kickers. I don't know what Heath Mason's like in reserve grade or anything with his kicking. But his data was really strong at fullback. His tackle counts were actually solid. His missed tackle was a little bit concerning for a fullback, but they're obviously you're diving on tries and stuff, like on try scores, which you can't help. I don't know what he's like as a tackler. Tackle breaks and run meet is really solid. So I think he's obviously going to be an attacking half. He's probably in your King Tongia molds in terms of low floor, but relatively high ceiling. So I don't love him as an option. Obviously, Latu Fainu is back at any moment, and I don't know who's their preferred half. I would assume Latu. I wouldn't do it this week. I'd definitely wait and see until they're all healthy. I will quickly, So he's played 3 games of half in reserve grade, averaged 35 in 77 minutes. 28 of that was in base, a few decent attacking stats without a try. So, is going to be interesting. But I couldn't do it personally. And then, Fainu, same thing. Obviously, he's not even playing this week, but there was a few people commenting that they liked him as an option. I don't. Obviously, I understand it is a cheap price. Let's just do this. Obviously he's a cheap price, but he doesn't blow me away with his attacking with his stats in reserve grade. Obviously played close to 80 minutes in the halves. He's got more data, so he's more of a natural halfback. Again, only averaged 31 in reserve grade, 25 in base, which is solid. Kick meters just aren't there, so very similar to King Tongia's reserve grade stats. Attacking stats are good, he is an attacking half, but in a Tiger side that's not great, even if he does return. He is a little bit cheaper than Mason, but I don't know if I could do it. I'd definitely be waiting a week on him as well when he's even named. So, he might be an option for round 18, but until then, obviously you're not getting him because he's not named, but just wanted to talk about those two. Jazz, he's got a low break even. Where is it? This one. So let's just say he's probably going to score like a 45 this week and then probably goes back down to 40. So he's only got about 60k in him, so I wouldn't be picking him up this week. I do think his role is going to be really good for at least this week or until Jakey's back. But yeah, if you got him, awesome, good for you. If you don't have him, yeah, unlucky. The sales probably passed. He already made like 57K last week. So yeah, unfortunate for us, but just ride the wave if you got him. Otherwise, yeah, you've missed that boat, unfortunately, in my opinion. Ezra, yeah, I've seen a few people in groups talking about him. Obviously, he was great in his return game. Still doesn't kick, obviously, with Reynolds dominating the kick meters. 3 try assists and a try to get to a 66. I know a lot of people picked him up last year. I think I had him at one stage, maybe even started with him. Yeah, he only scored 31. He's priced at 36. Like the year before, 33, 35. Like he's never been anything more than a mid-ranger and is priced higher than he's ever averaged in a season. So yeah, absolutely no interest there. There is going to be a few people picking him up, but yeah, please do not, in my opinion. And then just the Rabbitohs guys. So yeah, obviously we know how popular these guys are going to be, but for good reason. Like Kalamatangi doesn't have a ton of data at prop, but Locke is very similar, and yeah, he averages 58. So he's very underpriced, has crazy good buy schedule. I am concerned that he makes Origin at some stage. I know he wasn't on the extended squad for game 1, but he started to pick up his form in the last couple of rounds just before Origin. And yeah, I think he walks in if New South Wales lose. And maybe not walks in because they did have a few injuries, but Jakey Turbo is probably not in consideration anymore with his concussion and still not due back. So I think he's really shot up the list. And I'd say if New South Wales lose, he's more than a 50% chance to make Origin. And then Aitken, obviously, we know how good he is in the second row. He always has a little bit of a concern moving to centre, but even then he should be okay. Averages 55 in the second row, priced at 46. Yeah, averaged 62 this year, 57 last year, 66 in one game. So yeah, we know what he's going to be like. Just pick him up. He's a better option than Kalamatangi in my eyes. No Origin risk. So yeah, I'll be doing it. He's the first one I'm trading in this week. Then Halasima as our second last option. Yeah, obviously he's pretty much peaked now. Break-even's very close to where he's priced at, and he's on the bench. So even if he starts, his minutes are a little bit all over the place. Like he's probably got a tiny bit more value, but do you really want to wait to see if that's going to eventuate? And then obviously doesn't have the buy schedule. So yeah, I think as a sell, I'll talk about him soon in my next video tonight. But yeah, I think he's a sell for now. And then Paddy, obviously got that 1 ppm. Who knows if that continues in longer minutes? But again, he's only in for 1 to 2 weeks, so he's not an option in my eyes. But yeah, that's it for team lists. Hopefully that style was a little bit easier to follow, but if not, just let me know because I can revert back to the previous one. But yeah, we'll see you in another video tonight, guys. And yeah, until then, bye.